Everyone always only talks about the profits you get from a boss, but I feel like there's a lot more to consider when choosing your boss encounters. I try to play the game in a way I get the most enjoyment out of, and more often than not, I do it with solo content. So I figured it'd be a great idea to combine a quick top 5 list of the most enjoyable solo PvM encounters on old school Runescape. Starting with place number 5. Commander Ziliana. The Saradomin boss deserves a spot on this list, as it's the least punishing encounter to solo among all the God Wars bosses. This will require you to use the hit and run method, making you take significantly less damage compared to tanking all the hits, as you do in the other rooms. Thanks to this fact, the trips are long and grinding out the ecumenical keys or kill count does not feel that much of a big deal. The top 4 place goes to Alchemical Hydra. It should be noted that this boss has a very high Slayer requirement of level 95 and can be only killed while on a Slayer task. Although that might sound like a big negative, it comes with a huge payoff. The Hydra boss is one of the top consistent moneymakers in the game, rivaled by mostly only Vorkath and Zulrah. But in my opinion, taking on the Alchemical Hydra is so much more entertaining than either of them. Spot number 3 goes to Corrupted Gauntlet. The Gauntlet has much to offer. It has demi-bosses in the dungeon, there's gathering, and there's prepping. It's truly a minigame that feels almost like a mini raid. Another fun fact about this dungeon is that you can forget about gearing. Just bank all your items and hop into the portal. The trips at the corrupted version of the Gauntlet usually take around 10 minutes, so the commitment period is a lot shorter than any of the raids, yet it's a little longer than a regular boss such as Zulrah at 1 to 2 minutes. The place number 2 of the most enjoyable PvM encounter to solo in this game goes to Chambers of Xerath. This is the original. This is the raid's number 1. It has high requirements and it's a very challenging dungeon to learn, but the payoffs can be amazing. Let's take for example the Twisted Bow. It's likely the best ranged weapon in the whole game, and it's overall one of the most expensive items. And it is a drop from the raid's number 1. Many people in the OSRS community will agree with me that this raid is one of the best pieces of content ever released to this game. This raid offers amazing replayability value, as it is somewhat different every time and you won't feel like grinding the exact same movements over and over again. All the demi-boss and puzzle rooms have rotations, so you almost never play the exact same raid as you did the last time. Even the final boss switches its phases between acid, flame and lightning. The spot number 1 may not be a surprise for active players right now, but I'm going to give the spot number 1 to Tombs of a Mascot, the raid's number 3. This is the newest raid to be added to the game at number 3. What makes this content amazing for soloing is that you can pretty much choose your own difficulty by adding invocations to the challenge, which makes the bosses harder. It's a lot easier to learn than Chambers of Xerath, yet it gets so much harder than it at the expert invocation levels. Soloing it does not punish you, as it scales very well and you'll always have motivation to keep getting better. Although you can get all the drops already at normal difficulty, it gets more rewarding the more you add invocations. And that concludes the list. With that being said, thank you so much for checking out my first video ever. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and why not leave a comment of your own top 5 most enjoyable bosses if it's not the same as mine. If you're also into streaming, make sure to check me out on twitch.tv/nudfik. It's the same name as on YouTube.